Yeah, thanks for everyone joining. I really appreciate it. Good to see all the familiar faces as well. So I was actually going to suggest that we could maybe do like introductions on the community group. So Ben, Dee, and I were talking through chat, just so that like I think it's almost acts as a cheat sheet for us, like every time we get together, because I know like for me personally, right, like between meetings, there's like so much that happens. And then, like, whenever we get back together, it's like I remember everyone's face and your first names, but I don't remember exactly like all the background. And instead of having to redo it every time, I thought that could be like an easy way to just keep tabs on and remind ourselves where our expertise lies and like the industries we're from. So I'll probably kick that off after this call if everyone's good with that. You good with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
All
great
right.
idea.
Right, awesome. So yeah, we'll just do it as like one of the posts in um the feed moving forward, and then long term we can see if there's like another approach we want to take. But I think that'll be good for now. Ben came up with that idea. Okay, cool. Um, all right. So then like for today, we thought we would just like continue with like kind of like more of an open dialogue because got really good feedback on that from like the last meeting that we had. And it was like getting us like talking as a group too, so we could finally start getting to know each other instead of, like there's nothing wrong with presentations, of course, right? I think it's good to stay in contact too with like what QuickBase has to offer. But I think that's like the real perk of Qrew is like getting to know others from different industry and like how we're what we're excited about the platform or challenges and like kind of bouncing things off of each other. Um, so I came up with like a couple of like prompt starters, right? Like if we wanted, or maybe the conversation will just naturally flow on its own and we don't have to worry about any prompts. But like I know I can kind of kick it off. Like one thing that's like top of mind for me is like around like all the AI investment that's happening at QuickBase. I know they're dumping like a ton of money into the AI features and just wondering like where everyone's head is on that. I know I definitely have like my own opinion on like where I stand on like the whole AI spectrum. Like I'm like curious about it. I definitely don't know enough about it to like be like probably overly excited, right? I think I'm more of on the skeptic side, to be honest. And so like whenever I hear about like huge investments going in it, like I get it, but at the same time I'm like sad because there's so many other things that I want to see being worked on with the platform that I'm like, oh man, you mean like the UI isn't getting worked on? Like we're not trying to make this look any prettier? Like those kind of things. So just curious, like where you guys stand. Are you though like on the other side where you're like all in on AI, like other tools that you're using? Just curious to hear.
Yeah, that's a good question. I can give some context here. First of
Yeah.
all, Ben is doing a Q&A with the head honchos of QuickBase, so you can throw your question for them to answer that about what they're doing with AI.
Yeah,
If
I announced it today. So some, not all of you might have seen it, but we're gonna do a Ask Me Anything webinar on February 19th, which is 4 weeks from today. Um, I'll drop the links in the chat so you guys can register. But yeah, it's great opportunity to ask questions like that. Sam, you can keep going with your
Yeah,
with
I did. I
your
asked an
question.
AI question. Mine was actually different, which is like, what's the long-term viability of QuickBase in the world of vibe coding coming up, right? But obviously, you know. I think there's just going to be a lot of platitudes in the answer about AI because it's just like, everyone's got to anticipate the future. That's why they have to do what they have to do. But I will say, I was on office hours with Sam Tracey, and there's this AI beta that they're working on in QuickBase, and it blew my mind. It was really cool because it was like a chat on the sidebar. He was able to type in and it updated, let's say you said like update all the projects, to this project manager, and like it updated all the records for him, like create me new projects like this, and it really did it was like an LLM that you can chat with, and it updated the data, created data, all that stuff for you in a controlled way. He did say though that it's going to cost extra. That's the word on the street for the AI. So it's interesting. And I know someone in the Discord created his own AI connected to his database so he can query it with questions for like his Qrews, they can ask questions like, "Where's this project holding?" and it'll send them back data. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm excited about AI, but it's been a lot of disappointment sometimes. But I think it is the
Mhm.
future. So that's kind of my general take.
Yeah. No, that's really cool to hear. Absolutely. What are you guys thinking? How about the others?
I mean, we've played with the AI a little bit, right? And on our team. So I think I haven't done the like updating records aspect of it or seen that part, right? So I think that has hope or optimism with it. But there's another like AI feature in there around even like an app summary, right? So I think that one we've seen and it's been pretty powerful of it can read your whole app, give you a detailed breakdown of like at a high level first of what the app does and the business process behind it, but then also again give you details on tables and roles and like a lot of the same stuff that from like a governance and just like housekeeping perspective that you almost would want to do yourself, right? So I think I'm trying to figure out a way that we can potentially leverage that on our end to um, more formalize that. Because right now, and in talking with some of the Quickbase team, right, that goes into the realm or not the realms of bad word because we're talking Quickbase. It goes somewhere, right? And we can't really access it right now, other than just having to go into each individual app, generate the app summary, and pull it down, and then hopefully copy paste from there. So that's something in feedback we've already given, right? That it'd be great to be able to leverage that. So in a company like ours, right, J&J, I think there's 200 some odd apps in our realm. Being able to categorize all of those and have the full breakdown of each of the tables and the structure, right, is so, so important for us that we're trying to figure out how we can integrate it into our governance. So I'm excited for it. I think that in seeing it already work, there's optimism with it. But again, it's got to work properly. And I think the other thing with like J&Jing it, I'll say, and it might be only our team that cares about this, right? But like having our AI blessing on top of it, right? There's AI is everyone's favorite buzzword, but it also gets a lot of people scared, especially on the tech side, for things, right? So getting that blessing that we'd be able to even to leverage the J&J AI or the Quickbase AI together is another just concern of mine. But I know they're working on it, so I think I'm hopeful when it comes to AI. But pivoting, Laura, to your point, right? I would like to see some like simple Power BI looking visuals first before I really care about the crazy AI that we're starting to get.
Mhm.
I always felt like Quickbase was going to go in a direction with reporting with AI. Like, I want to, I need to, because maybe that's like for me too, when I'm thinking about things I want from understanding community. Like, I'd want to be able to go into like a Quickbase app, put in a prompt of, I need this report that shows this, and this in this format, like, and just be able to like spit that out. Like that seemed like that could be pretty valuable to me.
Mhm. Like
Um,
insights, like generating different insights from the data you're
yeah,
sitting on.
I was pretty dubious about like AI being able to build an app. Like it just felt like it was gonna run, eventually it was gonna hit this wall of trust. And like when you build a Quickbase app, there's so much going on behind, like underneath, with the relationships and the key fields and like the formulas that you're putting into it. And so it's like someone could build an app with AI, but then they're gonna spend all this time manually going in and making sure that it's accurate, because we see AI hallucinations all the time in like whatever tool that you're using. So I had my own doubts about like, but I felt like Quickbase had no choice but to just
Yeah,
be a part of
right.
this wave, right? Like if we didn't do that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
that
true.
like it would have just been completely, completely like on our own compared to like the rest of the market.
It'd be like Apple. Apple's not chasing AI right now. They're just kind of waiting till everybody else does it.
Yeah, that's a play, right? That's a strategy, right? Is like, I mean, but they also probably have the capital to then just acquire whatever company comes up with it, and then they just like go like, oh, we like you, boink, right? And
Yeah,
then, right, like they have
they're
yeah,
doing a
the
partnership
funds.
with Gemini. I saw they just announced.
Oh,
And the Apple Intelligence is going to run on Gemini starting next year or something
well,
like
well,
that.
there you go, right? Let them test it out and try it and fail and everything else and dump the money. Yeah, it's interesting.
Ben, they do have the AI for reports already, by the way. I just didn't find that it's that good. If you go to a table and you click new report, it says generate report for me or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, what I'm saying is like I would have thought that would have been the focal point of like where QuickBase invested its time was
Yeah.
the like making the reporting capability something that you would, and rather than manually building a report in its like legacy way today, it's like because it's just like I feel like there's a lot of clicking around to like be able to choose
Yeah.
your filters and like be able to choose like or even like putting like formulas together in your reports. So I
hmm.
just felt like that could be a time saver. Whereas without, and that's without compromising the schema of an app. That's where I felt like it was like, why are we trying to do that? Like there's so many like so many other areas I wish we could have just focused in on. But
If you put a
I
feedback, I'll upvote your feedback.
I'm just a community
I
manager.
Ben, I gave QuickBase to someone a couple days ago who has never seen it before, and I said make as many reports as you want. And she was on a call with me today, and she said she loves it. It's the easiest thing she's ever used to make reports, and she's never used it ever before. And she made a whole dashboard of all these reports. So I don't know if that's the place to do it. I get that it's more clicking, but she.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. Like, it's like, is it worth the investment for something that's already like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you want to invest it where there's like a big pain point. Um, yeah, interesting. Brittany, what were you gonna? I know, I think you've been dying to say something.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, I'm very hesitant about the AI stuff. We're in the healthcare industry, and so like we're
Yeah,
of the same mentality of like let everyone else try and fail and then we'll then we'll get on board. But um yeah, I mean, in terms of QuickBase with a lot of the AI stuff, like I just haven't pursued it because I'm like at this point I'm fast enough that like I can just
yep,
do it myself in the time it takes me to like type it up and explain it.
yep,
And maybe it's a control issue that I have where I'm like, I just want to do it right from the
yep,
first time.
yep.
Like even just an example, I built, I think, our first app from an app from the exchange just this past month. And it was helpful to have a starting point, but I almost felt like it was more challenging for me to like go through everything and see what I needed to change and all of those things, as opposed to just like starting from scratch where I have a definite plan of what I want to do. I feel like AI would kind of be the same way for me. Um, but I could see how, like, for really truly the business users that aren't builders, how it
Hmm.
could be helpful to have that like chat dialogue and stuff like that. That's like, I have no idea how to build a report. Can you just show me this? Whereas,
Sure.
like, for us that are builders, from my perspective, I'm like, give me an AI that will do a formula for me. Like, let me
Yep,
tell you what value I'm trying to calculate. And
yep,
don't make me search through the function list to find the right things. Like, you do it for me.
yep.
That's from like more of the super user side as opposed to an end user who's like, well, no, I just want to like mass update data or, that kind of stuff. I think you got two different perspectives.
That's actually super interesting because like where I've seen them working on like the UI was like on the like admin side, right? Like on the builder side, like making the menus prettier. I'm like, you're working on the wrong people. Like the people who are builders are like probably already like Quickbase junkies who just like love this platform, like with
Yeah.
all of its flaws, right? Like they love it regardless. Like work on the forms, like making the forms in the tables look like less you know what I mean? Like dated. It's just like interesting where the money is going, right? Because like I agree with you, Brittany, and like I think what, with putting the AI on like our customer, like our build, like as a builder, who our customer is, right? Putting the money there to make their lives easier is going to make the builders, right? Like happy too, right? Because then their customers are feeling. So yeah, it is really, really interesting. I could get there for the AI, right, from a customer perspective too. I think also like whenever I heard about like the vibe coding too and building the app, I was told that you can't then go on like the backside of it, right? And like make change, like it's not going to operate like the same way as QuickBase as it operates today, right? Like, because you're just going to have the chat bot. That's it, right? At least that was how it is for the beginning stages, right? That like once you start building an app with Vibe, like you're in the chat. That's it. There's all the other functionality, like behind the scenes of the tables, like you don't access it the same way. And to me, I'm like, oh, if I'm gonna start down this path with a chat bot, and like that's what now I'm all stuck with a chat bot. Like I've already known, like working with like chat GPT and Copilot to like create like little like figures for my kids for like this school PTO. I'll be there and like all of a sudden my tiger will have three eyes and six fingers and I'm like, oh my gosh, like just keep the tiger the way you know what I mean? Like it's just like not there. And I end up like spending 30 minutes trying to create this little tiger with a Halloween costume and then I end up in PowerPoint anyway, just like cropping it because I get too frustrated. And like those are my experiences with it. So I think that's what's making me like so like anxious, right? Because could you imagine like dumping like 40 hours talking with a chat and then you can't get it to where you need it? Like, I don't know. I'm just like, it would have to be like really good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it just like with any AI. I think it needs to help, like it needs to be helpful and supplement the human that is doing the work. And so I would, if I were a QuickBase, if I were an end user, if I were like someone who does my work in a QuickBase app, like I would want sort of the AI that's happening within the QuickBase app to know what my function is, the things that I'm supposed to carry out, and then highlight to me, so like maybe create some like offer up some suggestions of like what should come next. Like
Hmm.
this particular job is running a week behind schedule, like floating things up to you in a way like that would be a supportive agent, right? For you to like go and do your job. Like that to me feels like where at least the AI tools that I use outside of QuickBase, I only have Esther and Maria on my team, so I treat ChatGPT like it's a member of my staff. Because I can't ask Esther and Maria to do all these extra things. And so when I have, extra research that I need to go and do, that's where I have like a research agent that I like GPT that I created, that does that for me.
That's cool.
Hmm. Did anybody try Pipeline's AI? I
I
like
have
that.
not.
I like that a lot.
No, I clicked the button populate with AI and it erased everything that I had in there and rebuilt it.
Oh boy.
So I saw in the release notes that now there's going to be a do you want to confirm message before it erases everything and replaces it.
Oh, no.
So, now it'll say, are you sure you want AI to rewrite this for you? And that's coming. So, yeah.
Was that your idea to do
No, but I
So
was
I saw
really
somebody
happy. I was like,
pissed
oh,
about
it sounds
confirming
like
with that,
something
and
I would
someone
want,
else got ticked.
something I would
Someone
ask
who's really
for.
upset when their pipeline
Yeah,
got
and
deleted.
but like I was on with our users, Laura, you know Lucas, so like we have business users, and he said, when can I click the little question mark in the upper right and ask a question about my data? So I think that's coming like in beta soon. And he tried to do it. He said, I want to click the button and say, what are the launches happening with Imavi later this year? Like
Oh, the app chat.
he wanted yeah, app chat, and I told him there's a beta and I saw that there was a link to fill out to sign up for the beta. So I did do that. I don't know if everybody else got that, but there is a link to sign up for the beta.
I have it. It's not working well with our tables, just so you know, Sean. So don't
There's
advertise
a
it
new
too much.
version. No, there's a new version
Oh,
coming. Yeah,
oh,
that I just
okay.
had to sign up for. It's a new version.
Oh, okay. All right. Then maybe it'll
Yeah.
work better.
Just be careful with the betas. I tend to join a lot of them, and there's usually still a lot of quirks that have to be worked out when you do the betas. So the caveat that they give you of don't use it on high
Yeah.
value production items is very accurate.
They need customers using them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that like it's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, they're not they're product devs, they're
Yeah. Well, it's the same
help.
thing when we build something, right? Like you think you cover
Yeah.
every possible scenario, and then as soon as you
Hmm.
launch it, somebody's like, "This isn't working right," and you're like, "How did you do that?" Like I tried to break it and I couldn't break it, but you figured out how to break it. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
I put it in the chat. It's called Quickbase Intelligence Package, the newest one.
Okay.
Did you guys see Esther's note? There's gonna that our PM for pipelines, Georgie, or is it Yorgi? I think it's Yorgi. Yorgi will be at the meetup on Wednesday next
Nice.
week.
Will that be recorded and sent out? Because I'll be skiing. So
Yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah. Just
Nice.
gotta register and it'll be in your mailbox.
Cool.
Good deal.
What about the action steps in pipelines, the AI action step? Anybody use that?
What
Are
are
you
you
allowed to? Are you allowed to use it?
what are you referring to?
So there's a step now in pipelines called AI action, Quickbase action, and you
Uh,
can have it do things. For example, I made a Quickbase builder account for myself to store formulas that I want to use later on. So I had the action step when I dump the formula in it, it should put into another field what the formula is doing, like an explanation automatically.
that's cool.
You can like summarize, categorize, kind of what you can do with ChatGPT with like instructions basically.
Yeah, didn't you had Wes do that live at the last meeting recently? And because he's never done it before, and he was like, "Whoa, that's really cool." Summarizing everything for him.
Yeah, that could be
Oh, that
cool.
is really neat. Yeah, I know there are so many things. I feel like that QuickBase is like always like launching so many things, but like I know Sean, you're really pretty good at keeping up with like the release notes, but like I certainly am not. And so like I feel like these things like kind of sneak by that, but it's also like how you use it too, I guess, right? Like that's a creative use for it. Um,
I think your bandwidth too. Like up until like a month or two ago, I was the solo like builder at our company. So I just never had time to explore unless it was
yeah.
something that I found like vital for something I was working on. I didn't
Yeah.
have time to explore. And that's the thing. I feel bad that like they'll ask me to sign up for a beta. I'm like, I will, but I can't promise you I'm going to actually be able to like do any testing because I'm working on something
Yeah.
totally unrelated. Um,
Yeah.
so it's hard. And that's how I kind of feel about the AI is like, it's to me, it's like a nice to have, but I don't have time for that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So um, if you follow the Qrew blog, one thing that we're going to be doing monthly now is we've got somebody from the customer education team who puts together this like fun little video of like everything that's come out in the last month. So like we've gone through a lot of changes with like release notes. Like we actually used to have like static notes and like it would live on the web and then we changed it to a QuickBase app. So the other thing we're doing to supplement is that someone from our customer education team creates this video, puts a blog together, and then you could absorb the changes that have happened just like by watching him go through and show some of the new changes.
Mm.
Um, so if you follow the Qrew blog in the forum, you can get subscriptions when we have new stuff coming out, and then like usually it's the end of the month. He'll have something coming out next month to capture everything from January, and we'll do that monthly.
When you follow the blog, does it like prompt you? Like, does it give you notifications of like new posts and stuff? Or like, how
Yeah,
does
so what you do is you would go into the blog and then make sure that you hit the follow button.
that? Hmm.
And then in your preferences, you can set up your follows and notifications for the blog.
Oh, okay. No, that's good to know because I have a issue with remembering to go in here, to be honest.
Yeah. And then yeah, it connects to your email so that you can get notifications. And I totally understand. Like I'm in communities as well as a community member, and I forget to go into their forums because I'm busy working, right? Doing my
Yeah.
job.
Okay. No, that's cool. Um, I guess aside from the AI topic, like, are there any like big challenges that you guys are up against right now that you're running into that you're trying to solve for, or like any like big creative like things you have solved recently?
Um, so I guess two things. One thing I thought of on my own, one thing Wes Makeda comes to the rescue as always. So the one thing that we ran into that Wes gave us the nudge for was we're trying to do for one of our tables, and I think I talked about this last time, it's just constantly exploding at the seams. And so we kind of scaled it laterally by creating another application that's like got monthly tables, and then we're just moving records that meet certain criteria out on a daily basis. That's the goal. It's not automated yet. It's very manual right now. Just because I went out on maternity leave and we didn't have time to test it in production before I went out. But when we started to try and test it again, we were hitting like the item max size exceeded, which is like tough because I saw that it's 40 megabytes for the upsert, but you like, I don't know how many records that is. And that could change every single time depending on how much data is in each field, all of that. So was asking through like how I knew how you could like in queries kind of, select your top or whatever, but how can I get it to paginate essentially through an upsert? And he essentially suggested using callable pipelines and just having a pipeline that calls itself until it works through the whole list of records, which I think I'm excited to do it. I'm also super nervous about ending up in an infinite loop. But I'm glad now that you can stop pipelines, whereas in the past, I don't know if you guys remember way back in the beginning, you couldn't stop them. Even if you turned them off, you had to like put in a support ticket and get them to stop it. But yeah, so I'm excited to try that and hopefully that'll solve our problem. But that was kind of a way to make a loop inside a loop kind of a thing. So
Yeah, it is a creative
You
approach.
actually could do the same thing in automations, like if you were, I don't know if any of you used automations, but automations could go endlessly. You could do one automation that kicked off 3 automations, that kicked off 12, that kicked off. So, I may know someone who did that, and he's been a community manager ever since. Um, just kidding. I would never do that. But yeah, no, pipelines, certainly there's been some improvements there.
yeah.
There was a lot of feedback around pipelines and just the error messages themselves. I feel like that, you didn't know what to do. Like there was no clarity on like why a pipeline was erroring out. So I think that there's been a lot of improvements there. On top of I know I keep making announcements about what's coming. So I don't want to confuse you. There's also a product roadmap webinar on Tuesday. So product roadmap webinar Tuesday, people should totally check out. And then leadership Ask Me Anything, February 19th, which is 4 weeks from today.
And all those are getting recorded then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Register for them at a minimum, and then you can get the recording sent to you in the follow-up.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, we're Nick's starting up a community of practice at J&J for like because it's like the world is just of Quickbase is growing very quickly at our company, and so Nick, that might be a good recording to share out then.
100%. Yeah, that and then the one you already shared, right, of like what happened in the last month, right? At a minimum, I think it'd be good just to leverage that. So
yeah.
So and some of that, right, might be more technical. Like I just clicked into the one for this past month, and there's things in there that I'm gonna guess most of the group may not care about because I think it's a little techy. But
yeah,
no, I'm definitely planning on leveraging it.
Yeah, that's good.
What's a community of practice?
We love our little names for everything. Center of
It's
Excellence,
it
Community of Practice.
it's really just like similar to this, honestly, right? Like a come together of like anyone within our extended J&J group who's using Quickbase to try to share some of the best practices and standards as well as updates with it. And again, it'll be a lot of us driving as like the owners of the community of practice, but it's opportunities for individuals in this one function in my group to go and share and showcase that their app that they just built and other stuff like that. So it's really just a forum for people to come together within our group.
Cool.
Yeah.
What can happen, Sam? What can happen, Sam, is that Quickbase can like start in one department at a company,
Mhm.
and then the sales team that owns that account will find someone else in a different department and another department and another department. And eventually you have all these different, almost siloed departments using Quickbase under the same MSA, but they don't know each other. They don't know what they're building. And so they can come together and they can kind of help each other out and establish their own center of excellence for how they do Quickbase within their company.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now in my company.
Oh yeah.
Brittany, how did you limit the size if it was a callable pipeline? You just limited the amount of records in each time?
So what we're doing, so we haven't built it yet, but what we're doing is because we're doing the upsert off of what returns from a query. So we're like querying a table, and what we're going to do is return the top whatever records, upsert those. But we have a variable in the skip parameter that it's programmed as 0 in the beginning, but then when it gets to the end of that one, you then set it as the variable is equal to the variable itself plus whatever the top was that you just pulled. And so that way it then says, okay, well, next time, like I started at 0, I pulled the top 1000. When I get to the bottom, it says, okay, well, now the variable isn't 0, it's 0 plus 1000. So now it's going to skip the top 1000, skip the first 1000, and then take the next top 1000 and do it that way.
You're just assuming the first 1,000 is not above the 40 megabyte limit.
That's where we're going to have to like guess and check to see what size is going to be. Yeah. I tried to ask Wes if there's a way to find that out, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to kind of trial and error. So unfortunately, that's one of the things I think I asked or I put in a feedback about regarding reports in general in Quickbase was like, you should have something on here that says when you run a report how many megabytes it is. So when you go to hit export, you don't have to sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait for it to say it's too big. Like you should be able to just know it's too big before you sit there and wait for it to export, and then give me a way to like export it in chunks instead of having to manually go and chunk it out and export it. But
Is that how that works with other tools? Do you see that? Do you get that visibility?
I don't know. They should just do it.
No.
But the thing they said was like, to get the megabyte count, it's like way too much of a calculation, and it'd be like super taxing and blah, blah, blah. It would change each time you load the report or something. I don't know. There was some, they gave me some response. I don't know.
What I've done, which maybe is a little crazy, we had a table that was filling up, and I wanted to tell the new guy how long it's going to take that he has to figure this out. So I went to like the app properties, and you can see the table size, right? How many records it is, and I just did division, and I figured how much each record was, and then that was my going forward. And I was like, okay, you got 4 months and 1 day, and then you're toast. Like, figure it out by then.
Yeah. I think I've done that before too, but it also like if you have like a multi-line text field, it's like, you know, that changes each time, but
the estimation for sure.
Yeah.
The max item size exceeded is a broad problem. It's not just related to this. The CSV uploader is limited to 10,000 rows. The HTTP request is limited to 1 megabyte. DocuSign is limited to 1 megabyte. 1 megabyte is nothing, absolutely nothing. And there's also a defect in how it calculates the megabytes. I have an open ticket on that, and like the tier 3 or whatever is looking into it. I have some that are failing and some that are proceeding without any issues, and it's the exact same data. So it's like a broader problem, these limits, these arbitrary limits. The feedback I keep getting in the tickets I submit is that they want to increase them, that it's somewhere on the roadmap, but that's a couple different support people have told me that they
increase what? The table sizes or the?
No, this is related to pipelines has limits, such as the HTTP request has a 1 megabyte text limit.
Got it.
DocuSign has a 1 megabyte file upload limit. The CSV uploader to auto process CSV has 10,000 rows as a limit. Things like that. So it's the pipeline limits.
Yeah, it is also the 10,000 rows comes into play too. If you're doing even just a manual import and you're using a user field, you can only do 10,000 at a time because we've run into that issue. But what I did is my workaround is I'll export out just their record IDs. And then I created a field called like export group. And then I use a macro to go in and number them in groups every 30,000 records or whatever I know the size ish to be. And then I upload that back in there. And then I just have a report where I change the filter to be the export group equals whatever. And just, I mean, it's tedious, but
You're smart.
yeah. Macros was where I started before QuickBase. So a lot of times I'm like, I'll just do it in a macro.
But wait, well, how do you know the estimated size?
I don't. That was just like, I've worked with that data enough that I knew like about 30,000 for like a certain table, 30,000 records is about what I can do in one group.
Why don't you just do a formula field then? Just a arbitrary formula field. If it's always the same.
I could. The only thing is that that table or one of those tables is huge, and formula fields then always populate a value, which then adds to your, oh no, but derived fields don't add to AppSpace. I'm always trying to think about that. Well,
I know,
because
I
it's
think
like,
about it.
it's not, these are like one-off exports. It's not like something where I'm like, every record's going out. It's like in certain scenarios where I'm like trying to dump certain things out.
Right.
But that is
Cool.
something to definitely think about. I don't know. I'm just used to macros. It's easier for me.
I feel like that's a healthcare thing. I used to hear macros all the time when I worked in healthcare.
I used
Well,
to.
I started with them when I was in the electric utility world. So
Okay. Maybe healthcare's just been on my mind. We've been watching a lot of The Pit lately.
oh, nice. Supposedly, our friend is a brain doctor, somewhere along neurology doctor, and he said, in his opinion, that is probably one of the most realistic medical shows.
Huh.
Yeah. My wife used to work in an ER, and she's
Mm.
agreed.
Fact checking it live.
If you have a sensitive stomach, I would not recommend that show.
I know I'm curious to watch it, but I'm not super interested in seeing all of that. So
You're gonna see,
I grew up in
you'll,
Pittsburgh, like near Pittsburgh, so that part of me wants to watch, but
you don't see a whole lot of Pittsburgh.
yeah, I heard I heard some people like voting to try to get some people with actual Pittsburgh accents on the show because nobody has appeared yet, um but no, I see we only have 15 minutes left, so I was thinking maybe we pivot to talk about like next time, right? And if we wanted to do an in-person too, I don't know, Ben, like if you had an intention of when we would get together in person, if it wasn't the next time, I think we still talk about it, right? Because I'd want to plan ahead to get the space figured out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
booked.
I think if you want to go, like, I think we can go ahead. Um, I'm I'm finalizing the like spend for all Qrew in-person meetups by the end of next week.
Okay.
I'm trying to get an okay for that. So March was in my head, March was the next month that I was thinking groups could do get-togethers. The other thing is like, the Bond Collective is just so I think it was $100 an hour. Um, I mean, you're already working there, right? Like I guess that room was like $100 an hour. It's minimal spend. Like it wasn't like an expensive thing for us to get together
Mhm.
in person. The stuff that I anticipate getting some pushback on is like what I did in Atlanta with Topgolf. I don't know that I'm gonna get approved to do stuff like that, but bringing people together for meetups and then going out for casual drinks and bites after, definitely within what I think I'm planning.
Okay. Um, so I guess then as far as like timing goes, right? Like do we want to make the next one still virtual and then plan maybe in March, like when the weather starts getting better? Um, Hopefully it's getting better by March. Who knows? I don't know. What are your guys' opinions on this? Brittany and Sam, I don't remember exactly where you're located. Sam, you look like You're in a suburb. There's too many trees.
Tom's River, New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Brittany, where are you located? Are you the
I'm
same?
in Newtown Square, like near Westchester.
Stop. We're
Yeah.
probably neighbors.
Really?
I'm in Newtown Square.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right.
We can chat.
I'm on Gradyville Road.
Oh, you're on Gradyville. Okay. I'm off of 926 and Westchester Pike intersection.
926. All right, we'll have to talk later.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
email
like
you.
down the street from each other.
Yeah, that's
What's that
hilarious.
app? That app that's
That's
always
awesome.
advertised. You know what I'm talking about? That neighborhood app that always pops up. It's like, what's
Mm.
going on in your neighborhood? I'm like, oh, I don't want to know.
I actually have been on a call before. One person from Quickbase and one person from the customer realized that they were calling from the exact same neighborhood.
Seriously?
Yeah,
That's
That's
so
really
funny.
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Well, now I'm gonna see Brittany out at the Acme.
I'm a giant girl. I'm
Oh,
a
you're
giant.
giant. All right. Well, Acme's too
Because
close to me. All
like
right.
our mailbox is Newtown Square, but we're like further down,
You're
closer, like past Edgemont.
Westchester.
We're
Yeah.
Willistown Township.
Gotcha.
Where that
Okay.
is.
Yeah, you're
Not
on
in the
the end.
mansion side of Willistown, in the townhouse side of Willistown. Yeah.
Get it? All right. Okay, well, interesting. So Sam and us are like very
Yeah.
opposite, and then Sean's in the middle, I suppose, in the city. So maybe it is just easier. We just do what we did last time and get the that space like was nice, right? That worked well. Sam, you were there,
Yep.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, I
down in
can,
the
yeah.
city.
Did we
Um,
do an hour last time, by the way?
I think it needs to be longer.
Yeah,
It went like too
Yeah.
fast, don't you think? Like I think and most of
totally.
the time like I spent talking, which was not ideal. So we can have more of a dialogue like this. Like honestly, like if we just like all got together and like chatted because it was like a pretty good audience and I feel like we might get more people whenever it's like in person too. Um
So on that, yeah, I totally agree. I think 2 hours would make a lot of sense. Um, Jenny, who you might not remember, but
yeah, I
Jenny from
remember Jenny.
Quickbase
Yep.
works in tech support. So
Yep.
one of the things that you could promote too is that like we'll have someone from Quickbase tech support there. Like bring your bring your issues. Like we
Bring your
can
grievances.
bring bring the issue that you're working on. We can like troubleshoot with Quickbase tech support. Have a live we call it a tech bar at Empower. So we could do
Yeah.
like we could do a tech bar at the Philly Crew meetup.
Then you
Yeah.
should just get her a t-shirt that says, "Did you clear your cache?"
Yeah.
Did you turn it off and turn
Yeah.
it back on?
I was just
Yeah.
teasing Sean because she met him at the last meeting and she's like, you're the one filling up my inbox.
Mm,
She's like, you're Sean Torrey. Yeah. We went through a period of a lot of tickets, but it's okay. We're better now.
On a slightly sadder note, I think part of the reason that the Philly crew, I really love that you guys have continued to meet. I'd love to see the Philly crew get a little bit bigger. I think that we could use more customers, more folks joining. And I don't feel like I think I've been stretched a little bit thin, haven't been able to do enough with the recruitment. And so I'm excited though to share that Esther is going to be moving into more of an in-person role for our communities. She had been doing a lot with virtual stuff, but Esther's going to be working now with Dee on the Philly crew and the Atlanta crew. And I'm going to be moving over to trying to get other geographical communities going. We're looking at like Denver and Dallas right now. So Esther joined today, and she's going to be joining in the future. So um, she can start working with some of the account reps here to try and drive up more of an audience, get more people there, and then try and make the March event as good as we can get.
Awesome.
Yeah, very excited for it. Dee and I got together and talked this morning, and she's got a lot of passion to try to bring more folks, especially together. And so I think the biggest thing I think she wanted to talk with everyone is just like, how can we stay consistent? What can we do to make this like pretty standard? Like this is where we meet, this is what we talk about, and that becomes that marketing kind of thing, and we'll go out and start bringing more people in that way. So I think I think with Laura establishing, the Bond Collective as the place we hang out, I think that'll be awesome. I love that idea. Sounds like it's really centralized location, which is great. So looking forward to doing that. I think in the meantime, I do want to know, like, for February, you're thinking we will be meeting virtually, and then March will be when you're meeting in person. Is that the plan, or is that the consensus we have here?
I mean, I think that's what I would propose. I feel like that's safer with the weather. We've had actually kind of a crazy winter, more snow than usual. March will probably be more in a clear spot.
Okay.
I think that makes
And
sense.
okay. And did you want I know that, the other thing is timing. Did you want to meet, consistently at, every fourth Thursday of the month? Or what is your ideas around that? Is there a better time for the team? Because I noticed that, we've got the Atlanta crew meeting virtually, and I realized that, like, Dee told me that you wanted to meet every third Thursday, but it's running into that. So I'm just curious, like, is there another date and time we can stay consistent with, regardless if we're meeting online or in person, that we can stick with?
The third Thursday's running into the Atlanta time. Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
for the virtual. And so we only have one Zoom account. So
Oh,
if both of them meet, you'll all end up
oh,
meeting the Atlanta people together. So I don't
oh,
know if that's
oh, that's
I'm not
fine.
sure if you want to do that. Like, maybe you do. I don't know. We could do like an East Coast meetup one of these days. Um but yeah, I was just curious about that because, I'm happy to make the change. Because right now you are meeting, this is the fourth Thursday of the month. So
Yep.
if you want to keep it the fourth Thursday, we can do that. But I don't know what everyone's schedule's like.
I mean, in general, I think afternoons are better for me. Is that are your afternoons okay? Like if we just like kind of narrow down like part of the
Yeah,
day, right? First. So
yeah.
afternoons okay for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. And then is 4 o'clock too late, or is that a good time because it's like toward the end of your day? Or
I mean, that's fine for me. The only thing I'm thinking is if we're going into the city, hitting rush hour, coming back out is going to be
yeah.
in and out is going to be fun. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, last time, Brittany, so like it was we went to the what was it called again? What's the place? It was like a conference center, right? Where we met and then everyone went out for like drinks and stuff. So it
okay.
was like well, and like appetizers and everything at a bar.
Okay.
So it was like a little bit longer. So hopefully you
Yeah.
could, if you wanted to hang out and just chat, then you miss traffic, but that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Um
I just avoid going into the city.
I
I
know. Well, you and I can take the train together. There you go. We can
don't know if
carpool.
I've ever taken the train. I've just always driven. But
Oh, all right. Well, there you
I mean,
go.
I've taken a train in general, but I mean,
Yeah, not
I'm
into
going to
you
the
don't you
city. I
don't
didn't
really
need
have
to do
to.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So I think let's stick with 4 o'clock then, and like, and I guess we could just shift it. I don't really Thursday just stuck because that was the first day, and everyone's like, sure, Thursday afternoon works, right? But like, I think it could be like reasonably Wednesday afternoon, unless anyone has a standing conflict.
I would just say just not Mondays and not Fridays.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
agree. We'll stick to the core like 3 days. So maybe, Esther will just like kind of look to you guys like from a quick base perspective. If anyone else is using the Zoom chat during that time, we'll just stay away from that. And like if we can stick to an afternoon on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, preferably
hmm
like toward the end of the day, so we're not competing against other meetings. 4 o'clock's usually like pretty quiet.
Mm.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, I do know that Portland has a meetup, but they meet on Teams, not Zoom, so it's not an issue. And no one else is meeting during that time, so we can I think probably just like maybe you want to try Wednesday, every fourth Wednesday
Sure.
at 4.
Yep.
We can go with that. I mean, we do every fourth Wednesday at 3 at Portland, and that's a hybrid group, and it seems to be going pretty well. So um, so we meet even earlier, but I don't think it'll run into any issues because I can go from this meeting and then hop off and then drive to the other one. So that's not a big deal. Just make my Wednesdays crew meetup days, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
So yeah, so we'll do that. So the next one we can do it would be February 25th. That's a Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll share with Dee and Laura the Zoom link, and we'll send out a calendar invite for everyone to save that. And then we'll keep I think the agenda was really good today, Laura. I think just having something very consistent in that area so people know to bring their, ideas and cool things they've seen, features they want to talk about. I think that's really good. So, and that will really help. So I'm excited that, things are starting to fall into place. And once we get the next meeting in the belt, under the belt, and then March actually meet up in person, I think it's going to feel even better, and everyone will know each other even better by then too.
I mean, if you want a special guest too from Quickbase, that's another thing to communicate with Dean and Esther,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Hmm.
so you don't get Ben's hot takes on AI and Quickbase. You'd actually get someone who knows a lot more about the product talking about it. Just need to know in advance so that we can check their schedules and see if they can come.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the things that Dee and I talked about was like encouraging our local QuickBase, employees to come join us when they can.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big things we're going to be pushing. Because besides Jenny, there's a whole bunch of there's a bunch of CSMs that live in Philly, and sales folks that so we want to bring them in because they all have a different perspective on everything too, and I think it's very valuable for customers and partners to hear.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if there was anyone around there. I know, isn't Manny De La Cruz in
Yeah,
the
yeah, he's
broader
around.
Philadelphia area?
He's
Yeah.
in like
Is he in Jersey or is
He's
he?
in the Poconos.
yeah, he's in
Yeah,
the
okay. He was in Jersey and then
Yeah.
he moved to the Poconos.
Yeah, his
That's a
sister,
little bit farther,
Dee. Yeah,
but
Dee is in Jersey. He's in the
they're bro
Poconos.
I didn't realize they were brother and sister. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
they
Same last name.
are.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah. D is Manny's older sister.
Gotcha.
But like birth order wise, you'd have no idea. They both look like children.
Super young.
Yeah.
I was gonna say she looks really young.
Yeah.
They're eternally both very young looking. So,
The Dela Cruz genes.
exactly. Yeah, well, this was good. I don't know, any last words, Laura? What should we do next?
No, I think that's great setup. And then yeah, we'll just I guess we were gonna have to arrange because everyone registered, right? For like because when you register like a couple out. I don't know if that like put us on.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't. The last one I set up is not that way, so
Oh, okay.
I can actually change the date on it, so
Okay.
it won't be a problem. So don't
Okay,
worry.
perfect.
Yeah, so I can make some adjustments. It's a pretty easy adjustment on my end.
All right, awesome. Yeah, no, thanks everyone for the good conversation. It was good to benchmark with everybody. And then if you have anything that like pops up between now and next month, like you can always email me. I'll maybe can I actually am I allowed to reach out to the emails or I have to do it
Yeah.
through the crew?
Oh, you can definitely reach out to folks, not a
Okay.
problem at all.
All right.
And
Yeah.
then feel free to do update, on the discussion groups as well.
Yeah.
Because that's looking forward to seeing how you use that to introduce new folks. I think that'll be fun to see some
Yeah,
activity.
yeah. So I'll kick that off and then also maybe start a thread on like ideas for next time. If you guys do think of someone you want to bring in, we can reach out and try to get
John,
them
lift with your lower back. Lower.
for shuffling.
It's with your
Yeah.
legs, man. Always lift with your legs.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh boy. All right. Well, have a good one, everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye. Thank
Good
you.
luck this
Stay
weekend.
safe out
Bye-bye.
there.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
Bye.